Good morning, everybody. My name is Pia Hernandez, and today I'll be talking about a research question regarding the health of the oceans. However, before I begin, I would like to picture a scenario for all of you guys. You are currently in the Barbados on the coastline, and you're there, the sun is warm, the sand is warm as well, and you're about to dive into the ocean, but you don't crash into the waves, you crash into a bunch of pollution. Which leads me to my research question. How has tangible pollution around the Caribbean Sea affected oceanic organisms throughout the 21st century? This is very important as the oceanic organisms from the Caribbean Sea are what we eat. We ingest seafood. Many people ingest seafood. In addition to that, the ocean quality also affects us humans because we also partake in oceanic activities. And after conducting research, I could say that the effect that tangible pollution has done in the Caribbean Sea is negative throughout ocean acidification and increase of plastics in the ocean. Now, tangible pollution is pollution what you touch. So this includes liquid waste because you can touch liquid. This also includes solid waste because you can touch solid. However, this does not include gaseous waste. So when speaking about ocean acidification, I will not be talking about the carbonic impacts of ocean acidification, rather what the liquid is doing in contributing to the ocean acidification. Now, first off, I will be speaking about the plastics. According to the Ocean Health Index, which is a stimulus given, about 60 to 80% of all marine debris is composed of plastic. In addition to that, 8 million metric tons of plastic enters the ocean each year. Now, 8 million metric tons is a pretty big amount. In addition to that, 60 to 80 is plastic. Now, as you can see, compared to all the other waste, plastic is the one that takes the longest to decompose. So not only is the impact of the plastic in the ocean going to be there for a very long time, the very long time is what's going to make the impact more extreme. This is going to affect oceanic organisms through ingestion and entrapment. So for example, here you can see a turtle that when it was a baby, it was swimming through a ring and it got stuck. As it grew older, its shell grew around the ring. This is going to be very negative for its digestive system and its quality of life in general. Now, for ingestion, it's not just whales that consume plastic, it's all organisms because, as said before, as plastic dissolves over time, it will turn into microplastic. So even microscopic organisms like phytoplankton can ingest plastic. Now, on to the next point, which is liquid waste. I would like to emphasize the liquid waste done by cruises. So according to a peer-reviewed alternatives journal titled Caribbean Dumping, a typical cruise ship can generate between 400 and 1,200 cubic meters of liquid waste and 70 liters of hazardous waste each day. Considering that there are many cruises around the Caribbean Ocean every single day, and that's 400 to 1,200 cubic meters each day, we can assume that these impacts are going to be very drastic. Now, liquid waste like this could be pertaining to oils, and oils do contain elements that do contribute to ocean acidification. As you can see here throughout this graph, sorry for the blurriness, what matters is the color. So here on the legend, as it goes down, you can see that it's decreasing in pH, which means it's becoming more acidic. Over time, you can see that the pH around the Caribbean gets redder over time, which means that it is decreasing in pH, becoming more acidic. Now, what does this do to our oceanic organisms? This turns into a dissolvement of the calcium carbonate shells in crustaceans. So the carbonic element of their shells reacts with the acidity in the ocean, and this is what's going to dissolve their shells. As you can see over time, as they continue being affected by such ocean acidification, their shells will become weaker. Now, without any shells, these oceanic organisms are more susceptible to be preyed upon and will be affected more negatively by the harsh environment of the ocean. Therefore, there is a negative impact of the pollution in the ocean. Now, some may say that what can be done to solve this is to have massive cleanups in the ocean to collect all of the plastic. As you can see, what they have is these little tubes, and they kind of circle around, and they collect the plastic. However, as said by Laurel Parker in a Stimulus article from National Geographic, The NOAA mentions their worries about oceanic cleanups since they might end up doing more harm than good. Because of these massive cleanups, this is also going to be picking up the microscopic organisms in such plastic pollution, like phytoplankton. Now, phytoplankton is very important in the oceanic environment because it not only provides essential nutrients to specific marine organisms, it also is photosynthetic, so that means that it's going to be producing oxygen into the ocean, which helps decrease the impacts of ocean acidification, since ocean acidification is the acidity, and that has to also to do with the carbon. So putting in oxygen into the ocean is going to decrease those levels. That means that the massive cleanups aren't going to be as good as expected because of the fact that it's going to be taking away something that is vital to easing the impacts of ocean acidification. What can be done to solve these issues, though, is to have donations to scientific research. So there is a way to filter these microscopic plastic out of the ocean. For example, a water bottle has a filter. I'm pretty sure that many of you have seen this before. This could be used in a larger scale to ensure that the plastic that's going to be filtered out of the ocean doesn't filter out any microscopic organisms along it. So that is a way that it can be done. But scientists still need money to have research and figure this out. Therefore, donations are accepted. Are there any questions relating to the topic? Thank you.
We both got into stay up there. I do have 2 questions for you. For every single person, we have questions. All right, again, listen to the question. So how did you select the strategies you used to gather information?
So I did not want to get information that was either biased or did not have the correct information. So not correct information, rather accurate. Therefore, I decided to use scholarly articles and go through databases that only just had peer-reviewed articles in addition to articles that were based upon science, not opinion.
Okay, and what additional questions emerged from your research as you were going through it?
What additional questions emerged from my research was the impacts that it was going to have on humans. Therefore, I looked more into the social side of things, but decided not to include it for my presentation as it didn't relate to the impact of oceanic organisms.
You are done.